Hello there. What is going on, everyone? In case you've been living under a rock for the past 24 hours or so, you may have missed the fact that we just got a trailer for the Book of Boba Fett. This is the next Disney Plus Star Wars series premiering December 29th. So not in time for Christmas, but definitely in time for my birthday, which also happens to be a December birthday, and all December birthday kids know the struggle of having a birthday very, very close to Christmas. If you're with me on that, bro fist. And if you're not, it's okay. You can still hit this. You can still hit this. All right. If you guys are new here to the channel, there's still time left to enter to win. We're giving away a lightsaber for hitting 50,000 subscribers. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos, letting me know if Boba Fett were to brandish a lightsaber, what kind of lightsaber and what color do you think that he would wield? All right, so and also, side note, do you think we'll ever see that? Like, I don't think it has to happen, but you know, just for the sake of discussion, do you think we could ever see him hold a lightsaber? And you know, that would be an interesting thing, because he does certainly have a fascination for melee weapons in addition to ranged weaponry, which we will see here in the trailer. We're going to kind of go through some of the scenes, talk about this trailer. It's very exciting. If you guys want to learn more, there's links in the description below. So we do kind of start out with the Bomar Monk Spider Droid. I loved this. This was actually a story about these guys in the Tales from Jabbas Palace books, which was one of the first Star Wars books I read as a kid. And that's actually like a brain floating in that jar right there. And also, if you paid close attention to the Return of the Jedi, you will have seen these guys walking around. Old school fans know this very well. Maybe some of the younger fans out there could have glazed over that little detail, but that is not just an insect. It's actually a droid carrying a brain. And it's kind of funny, like one of the first lines of dialogue you hear is he's like, I'm no bounty hunter. I'm like, yes you are, at least you were. You know, the most infamous bounty hunter in the world is now saying that he's not a bounty hunter. And of course, he's turning a leaf. And I think this is pretty interesting because, you know, he puts the helmet on, you know, at the beginning of the trailer, but we kind of see him take the helmet off a lot, and he spends a lot of time without the helmet. And I think this is important because it's going to kind of set the tone for this show, because the show itself very much feels in the same style and the same kind of level as The Mandalorian. But I think this is one of those ways in that they're really contrasting this show against Din Djarin's Mandalorian, in that Boba is going to be taking his helmet off quite a bit. He has no problem having his helmet off. He'll probably have his helmet off more than on, and we'll see more of that. And so, like, it kind of starts out that he's going around to all these different maybe crime lords or businessmen or people in power. We have an Authorian here who is interesting in that he also has a Twi'lek assistant, and he's also kind of perched on a throne. And like this whole scene here is trying to, it kind of makes me, you know, evokes a certain look of, like, I've got my own throne, but I see you've got your own throne too, so which throne is better, you know? And based on this particular chair he's sitting in, it doesn't look quite as exotic as Jabba's throne. So I'm guessing that this guy, while he does certainly have some wealth, probably doesn't maybe have as much as Jabba either has or had. And so, and it's an interesting city that they show, kind of Fennec Shand and Boba Fett still teaming up, walking through here. I'm not even sure if this is Tatooine. I'm thinking it's a pretty good chance that it's Tatooine, but you know, in Mando Season 2, they kind of outlined some of the major cities, and there weren't very many on Tatooine. And I think most of them were cities that we've already seen, so this certainly doesn't look like Mos Eisley. And I also don't think it's Mos Espa. So, you know, because I don't recognize a big cratered area right here. But whatever, if it is a city on Tatooine, this cratered area would certainly protect it from dust storms, and certainly be, you know, a nice kind of call towards something that might let this city thrive. It's also interesting that there's a very big tower in the middle. It looks like that might be where they're trying to, whoever is in charge might be close to that tower. It certainly evokes certain other stories of one person kind of like the vacuum of power after Jabba left. Is this guy now kind of abusing all the people that lived here? it's going to be very interesting. It looks like they get into some fights in the course of their journey to, and again, they do these trailers kind of cleverly. This could be that same city. This could be a whole different planet. It's just, there's very much of a sand kind of texture. We also don't really know if this trailer is just showing us stuff from the first episode. I think this trailer as a whole, again, Boba without helmet, right? This trailer as a whole does a lot to not give too much away, but also set the tone, right? We have a whole meeting, and this is a big part of this trailer. How about these Trandoshans? This is like the scene, I think this is probably something from the first episode. Boba sits down with all of these other captains who did work for Jabba. I'm loving this. I'm loving these guys. I mean, I don't know if this is supposed to be Bosk in his old age. Maybe he's kind of taken off the flight suit. It looks a little bit like Bosk. Like, that could totally be Bosk. If so, how awesome would it be to have Boba and Bosk? That's just fantastic. He looks like he's not too happy, but that could just be his resting Bosk face. Ba-da-bum. Ow! All right. Anyway. So sorry. Dad jokes. But yeah, then we get the Aqualish over here. And then we also, don't forget our dog-faced gremlins over here. Now, the Klaatuans, we've seen them a little bit in Mandalorian already. And, of course, these guys were also, this race was also featured in Return of the Jedi. I think the only race that we don't see are, like, Niktos. They're more of like, or Weequays, too. We don't see any of them. But we do see an awful lot of different aliens in this trailer, so very cool. And they kind of seem standoffish against, in this big kind of dinner, or like a kind of a meeting, like a meeting of the minds, it looks like it gets called. And, Boba's trying to consolidate power. He's trying to say, look, I got a plan. We all work together. We can all get rich. And, of course, the other guys are like, well, we could just kill you. He's got Gamorrean guards, so he's obviously already seized some power from Jabbas Palace. I'm guessing this is first or second episode. I think most of what we see here is probably first or second episode. It looks like it's very early. It looks like this is kind of the basic idea. He's just trying to now consolidate power, trying to unite the clans, so to speak. And I wonder if this is going to be an interesting mirror of kind of like what the Darksaber, Din Djarin, and Bo-Katan are trying to do for like maybe the good Mandalorians or the nobler Mandalorian cause. And you got Boba Fett over here still trying to unite the clans, but from the criminal underworld. And I think this is all building towards like a siege of Mandalore, a retake Mandalore. I think it's all building towards that. And I wouldn't be surprised if between this, Mando Season 3, the Ahsoka show, and Thrawn coming out, and all this other stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if it all culminates towards like one, like almost like Avengers Endgame kind of story arc for that. So it'd be interesting if this does kind of eventually, like, he gets power, and then all of a sudden he amasses a fleet which can then assist, and maybe he eventually wants to discover his roots. I bet you it's going to deal a little bit more with him kind of wanting to go towards Mandalore for some reason, but maybe we'll see. Do you think maybe there'll be any ties to Grand Admiral Thrawn or Imperial remnants kind of causing a problem with whatever enterprise he's putting together here? It will be interesting. We get some more cool scenes of Jabba's palace. There's a lot of different scenes and angles and rooms and places we haven't seen before, because, again, we didn't have a whole lot of time to really, show a lot of different rooms in Jabba's palace during Return of the Jedi. So this is nice that they're going to be able to explore that a little bit more, and some of it looks pretty cool. So I like that. A lot of aliens and some very interesting looking Twi'leks, and I don't think I've ever seen orange for a Twi'lek before. But then we also I have a feeling that this actress right here is going to be somebody maybe in particular, maybe somebody special. She looks a little familiar to me, but not 100% sure. Might be nothing, but they're definitely trying to catch your eye with all the different aliens that they are showcasing here. And so the special effects, makeup, and prosthetics, and all of that is definitely going to be on full display. It's going to be very, very good fan service for all you alien lovers out there. So we do have a really cool looking fight scene. I don't know if this is on that first planet because, again, sometimes with the trailers, they will skip around a little bit. We've got a bunch of coins falling out of Boba's helmet. It looks like, I don't know what the story is there. Was he maybe collecting, or taking up donations, collecting, passing around the helmet, like how the firefighters will sometimes pass around the boot on like busy intersections. Sometimes I don't know if he's like trying to raise money for his army that way, or if this is just something else altogether. But that's definitely that was something. But at the same time, you have these guys put up all these really wicked shields. I kind of like them. They kind of remind me a little bit of the Gungan shields that we've seen, or maybe the Separatist droid shields too. There's energy shields, but they all have like vibro axe type blades, kind of pole arms with a little bit of electricity kind of shock to them. So maybe some kind of variation of a force pike, but these guys are all like kind of in the same uniform, so they are definitely working for one of the factions. They do appear human though, so they could be working for anybody. I think at a certain point though, you have to just assume that a lot of the hired guns out there are going to be human, because maybe it's just a little bit cheaper to have humans put on a mask as opposed to doing a huge, complicated prosthetic. But you do have a lot of aliens, so they get definitely a pass for having an army of humans at least. But it looks like Fennec and Boba go to work on these guys, and it looks like Boba's swinging either one of their force pikes back at him, or maybe a gaffy stick. I think it's one of those force pikes. I think he steals one of their melee weapons and uses it against him. But it definitely evokes some of that early Boba imagery from Mando season 2. So he's getting, and like the look on his face here is just like, I am crushing your skull, cleaving you in two. And and it kind of ends with so speak freely, but Fennec Shand is like, she talks about Jabba, if you spoke like that to Jabba, he'd feed you to his menagerie. And it's interesting. I feel like there's a Bad Batch connection here, because the Rancor that basically was shown in Bad Batch to be one of Jabba's Rancors, it was not the same Rancor that we saw from Return of the Jedi. So I think that they're basically trying to set the stage for Jabba had more than one creature. Jabba had a menagerie. I think that's what they're telling us. So I think we can expect to see not only a lot of aliens, but I think we can expect to see perhaps a wide variety of creatures, and maybe some interesting surprises as well. Maybe like a baby crate dragon? I don't know if they'll go that far, because they kind of already just recently did the crate dragon thing. But I think we're definitely going to see another Rancor. And I think it might even be the Rancor from the Bad Batch. We'll have to wait and see, but this show looks good. It looks great, actually. And I'm going to say this, and I'm curious what you guys think, because I would love to hear. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. But I think my number one takeaway from this show, in addition to it just looking great and having lots of aliens and kind of having the same feel as Mando and just being that kind of like Star Wars for grown-ups kind of thing, but I think this trailer is fantastic because it doesn't give the whole series away. And so many times Star Wars trailers, and trailers just in general, like to just give the whole thing away. And here's my thing. It's Star Wars, and it's Boba Fett. You don't have to oversell it. You can keep the trailers very, very light and spoiler-free. We're all going to go watch it. It's not like you need to be like, oh, look what happens. Boba Fett gets octopus arms. You don't need to tell us that now. A spoiler warning, he gets octopus arms in the last episode. No, he doesn't. I made that up. So, anyway, I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know down in the comment section. Don't forget to enter to win that lightsaber. More details for that are on Crabbok.com. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment. I will talk to you guys later. Big thanks to my patrons. If you guys haven't already, check out the links in the description below. We got links for Patreon as well as social media. Hop in Discord. Keep the discussion going there. Always remember, if you're going to get octopus arms, remember to brush your teeth first, because you might have a problem doing it afterwards while you learn to use those arms. I will talk to you later. Have a great night.